And then banks and exposure to risk. So banks are exposed to a number of risks, including customer defaults on repayment loans, interest rate changes, which can negatively affect the business. For example, a fall in interest rates reducing the repayments on variable rate loans, failure of processes such as poor data handling and IT issues. So, banking infrastructure like ATMs, wire transfers, um, their banking platforms. So those are IT related issues, data handling, there's a risk. The data has to be safe and secure. People's personal information can't be compromised. Banking facilities need to be in good standing at all times so that there are no interruptions, right? Those speed points have to work. If I do an EFT, the money has to go through. If I go to the ATM, it has to work. So if those are failures of processes. They do face the risk of failure to their processes, right? And that is why sometimes if you go to your banking app, some of the features, you find that some of the features during that time that you visit your banking app are down, say due to maintenance. So that is so to prevent failure of their processes, but then they do normally notify you when something will be disrupted, right? It can, they have to do ongoing maintenance on their facilities and infrastructure. And then they also face the risk of fraud. People do rob banks, so that is some form of risk. And then even fraud from their staff. I think that is also some form of risk. And then failing to meet regulation. Yes, this is the case. Banks are being fined for failing to spot and act on money laundering, right? Regulators do fine banks if they don't meet regulation, right? If you visit the FSCA website, you will see some fines that were issued to some of the popular banks in South Africa, even the popular financial institutions like insurance companies, because regulators issue regulation and then these financial institutions have to be compliant, right, with that regulation. If they don't comply, they can be fined for non-compliance. That is why if you are working for a financial institution, there is a compliance officer who ensures that all the staff working for that institution do know about money laundering, financial crime, and what is this one? The financing of terrorism, and yeah. So they have to be compliant, including their staff has to be compliant to work there. Because they also work with people's information. There's the POPI Act. If they don't protect customers' data, they could be fined for that. If maybe say customer information sort of like leaks due to some data breaches that the bank didn't take care of. So there is that risk of failing to meet regulation, right? And then they can be fined for that. And the amounts that I usually see is like you say that okay, a certain bank has been fined 10 million for non-compliance, right? So and then